Hello everyone, welcome back to the week 7 session. We're going to be having quite interesting discussion today. In the first half of the unit element operation management, we're going to focus about e-commerce, e-business indeed. We discuss more in detail what is included and why there is a need for electronic or digital trade and commerce in this era, because we are discussing for the last 3-4 weeks technological the evolution in and the role of technology in business operations for enhancing efficiency and effectiveness and making the best use of resources with the business intelligence using the cloud computing, search engines, big data analytics. We discuss about the metadata, the particularly talking about data visualization, and again the silos. We are discussing that the data that has to be available, the time this is needed for business various activities to perform and enhance rather the efficiency and the productivity of the business. So we're going to talk about the e-business and see how, for example, Walmart, Amazon, all this big name, they are taking the best out of technology for electronic commerce or electronic business indeed. So e-business, we know how it refers to undertaking the industry, trade and commerce with the help of information technology as well as the information communication and technologies as this is emerging and evolving around. So business particularly taking the best out of technology to enhance or take the businesses to the already has taken to the next level. We know that e-commerce is nothing but buying and selling goods as well as services on the website. So we need to talk between and then differentiate as well between e-commerce and e-business and how the businesses are getting the best out of technology to have their electronic presence, because in UK and around the world the electronic e-shopping or e-business is increasing, and particularly this nick of time when we were in lockdown and there was COVID restrictions, so businesses had the only options to be electronically trading within the country and abroad, and that also increase or enhance the need for end-to-end supply chain management with the help of business intelligence and real-time information presence or dissemination. So the question is again, what exactly we mean by e-business or e-commerce? We know e-business can take place on two main platforms. It can be online storefront or it can be online marketplaces. So e-business means carrying on business activities through internet or economic infrastructure. So it is the process that an organization conduct over computer mediated network, for example. So take the example of production, so supply chain, procurement, ordering, stock, replenishment, payment processing, production control, etc. They're all going to be digitized. Customer focused marketing, selling, customer order processing, delivery, for example, and then internal or the management focus approach that we can do through e-commerce, through e-business, is the employee services, training, recruitment, information sharing. So you can see e-business is not just trading, it is not just the transaction, but it is the umbrella term that's going to cover production, supply chain, customer services, management, their employability skills and capabilities enhancement. So e-business, for example, the marketing point of view, so online marketplaces, they are the websites, they facilitate the buying and selling of goods and services between merchant and customers. Example of online marketplaces include Amazon, eBay, for example, Fiverr, Upwork. At first glance, when you see Amazon business structure, it easily dubbed as e-commerce. But Amazon is not just e-commerce. In fact, that's how company representative and others generally classify Amazon in its namesake website. But over the years, the company has expanded so much into services that go beyond the boundaries of strict e-commerce. So e-commerce, as we know, is just trade. It is nothing but buying and selling goods and services through the or on the website. But e-business is a very umbrella term, and e-commerce is one of the element under the umbrella of e-business. So when we say e-business, it rather covers the whole range of activities within the business through internet or through website, and that can include the customer service, productions, or all internal management operational activities. So when we say e-business, we can see here what exactly the e-business can do for any business. It refers to performing all type of business activities through internet. E-business includes activities like procurement of raw material, all customer, for example, services, supply and supply chain activities, buying and selling at the same time, and again making the monetary transaction if there is a monetary transaction required over the internet. It also includes internet as well as intranet or extranet, also used in the e-business domain. So website, apps, enterprise resource planning from our last discussion, customer relationship management, let's say lean synchronization, they all required for e-business. So the example of e-business are the e-commerce companies or e-business companies. They have various internal business activities. For example, auction site, classified site, software and hardware development side. So online store setup, customer education and looking after customer services, buying and selling product, the monetary business transactions or financial transactions, supply chain management, e-marketing. So they all together become the key activities within e-business. On the other end, when you see what is e-commerce, it will be something referred to the performing online commercial activities like transactions over internet. So it includes activities like buying and selling product, making monetary transaction over the internet. However, when you see the e-commerce here, it conducts the business functions or electronic system, and this is all range of different activities we can cover in e-business. It is not just the transaction, it is not just the trade or buying and selling. Rather, we see human resource management, procurement, e-procurement, e-marketing, manufacturing, and this all is going through electronic or digital platform. So an integrated system that can be or should provide e-commerce can be one of the key component of the e-business, but e-business is more than just e-commerce. It is e-business includes e-commerce as well as e-payment, e-communication, e-production, and e-distribution, the whole supply chain end to end. So e-business, you can see, is quite a combination of the key components for business intelligence, delivery, accounts, engineering, productions, as well as purchasing, sales. So that's basically connects the critical business system directly to its customer, employees, partners, suppliers, using internet technology or web or cloud-based web technologies. So when the e-business, whenever you talk, so you are not just talking about e-commerce, which is going to be one of the key feature under the umbrella of e-business, but e-business covers more than trade. It also covers the looking after the human resources, the online training, e-procurement, for example, and then again, e-marketing is one of the key important elements within e-business, and then production, manufacturing, and overall management. E-management is becoming quite dominant within the under the umbrella of the e-business. It is quite interesting to see what infrastructure we have. The electronic business, when we are talking, we basically looking, for example, with internal and external connectivity through internet or intranet or extranet. So an e-business strategy basically aims at reducing operational or operating cost in other words, to increase or enhance the productivity and improve the bottom line operations. So it enables better responsiveness to customer need, transparent communication with business, and improve the vendor relationship. So we have the classic examples, like for example eBay, that is business to customer or customer to customer relationship, or Amazon, for example, business to customer for various business end-to-end services. The Chinese version of Amazon, Alibaba, is one of the best the founder of Alibaba, Jack Ma, became the richest person in China because of this business to business e-business, the model he introduced. And then Fiverr is one of the other example. But the infrastructure of e-business basically refers to the combination of hardware, such as servers and client PCs in any organization. The network used to link the hardware and the software in the infrastructure for the application used to deliver services to workers within e-business and also to its partner and customer. So here we can see that the share of total economic infrastructure which is used to support e-business processes and conduct e-commerce transaction. We are trying to look into the key elements within infrastructure of e-business: hardware, software, telecommunication network or internet or intranet, extranet, support services, and again the right people for the right job with the right skills. Human resources is again very, very important. So computers, hubs, routers, data center, etc. We know the servers, it can be cloud-based computing, server providers, a necessary functionality of the other program. It can be a computer program or a device and can be used for different purposes. Some common server are proxy servers, web servers, or application servers, etc. So the infrastructure play an important role if you really want to go for e-business version and you have a e-store or e-market places, and that really have to then provide the services to the customer as well as to the business partner through infrastructure. IT infrastructure has to be quite matured. So when we go for the computer mediated network, and that what we call CMC, that's computer mediated communication sometime, which is defined as any human communication that occurs through the use of two or more electronic devices. So electronic link devices that communicate interactively over network channel. The CMC example include email network communication, instant messages, for example, text messages, hypertext, distance learning, internet forums, Usenet, for example, the news groups, bulletin boards on the other end, and online shopping distribution list as a video conferencing. So they are quite interesting. There was computer, personal digital assistant, and web TV that make a good network, and the internet enabled cellular phones. The interactive telephone systems are providing a fundamental base for such channel or the network for e-business. So the nature of the computer mediated communication or CMC means that it is the network which is easy for individual to engage in communication with other regardless of the time, location, or other geographic or spatial constraint to communication. And that is where we get the blessing the technology is providing, that we are not restricted with geography, and then we can work worldwide. There's a global business presence irrespective of the time zone. So internet, intranet, extranet telecommunication network for electronic data interchange is basically is the soul of the e-business. because it can also be useful for allowing individual who might be intimidated due to the factors like, for example, character or disabilities to participate in communication by allowing an individual to communicate in a location of their own choosing a computer mediated communication that can allow an individual or a person to engage in communication with minimal stress. So making an individual comfortable through CMC also plays a role in self-disclosure, which allows a communicative partner to open up more easily and be more expressive at the same time. When you are communicating through an electronic medium, individuals are less likely to engage in stereotyping and are less self-conscious, and they're not conscious about their physical presence or characteristics, for example. So that is very important, to let people connect and communicate, and they are being in your own comfort zone and in your own time zone, and that will further help people to have access 24/7. The new business rules for e-business particularly, because the new studies, they projected that the World Wide Web or the worldwide retail e-commerce sales will reach a new high peak by, let's say, end of 2021. So e-commerce businesses should anticipate an increased growth. Some statistics says it's going to be the e-commerce or the e-business growth can increase more than 200%. So it's going to be quite a trillion of the trillion-fold increase by the end of or during the 2020. So this shows a future of steady upward trend with no sign of decline. So there is a new rules coming that how customers determine everything. So we are quite customer-oriented approach. It is not what the organization is going to offer. Rather, you have to see the other way around, what customer want. The requirement widely vary with different kind of activities. So telecommunication infrastructure requirements. This mostly entail the bandwidth and the security, hardware requirements for the e-activities or e-business activities, as well as software, and then the technical skills requirement. So customer basically the knowledge and the information become quite valuable than just the physical infrastructure. So the people capabilities, technical skill requirements, that is more important. And again, the legal and policy framework for legislative and data protection. So people want more choices of product and services, being in their comfort zone, and time is present time, so the distance is zero. That is quite important outcome from the new rules, that you can do business being in UK from Hong Kong to Brazil. This doesn't make a difference with the time, and there is no distance at all, because when you are on e-business platform, you can buy any product. If it comes from, let's say, Amazon or eBay, it will be at your doorstep. It is promised within a day or two time delivery, and you are not worried if it is coming within UK or coming from other end of the world. So technology and network determines how the business is conducted and how we look to the financial, not just the financial infrastructure, rather the telecommunication infrastructure, hardware, software, plus the technical skills for both the management side and then the customer. That's very, very important. So you can see this network basically determine the fate or the future of the businesses, the way it's going to be conducted in coming days. So potential benefit of e-business, why we conduct e-business. There are a number of benefits. It removes the location and availability of restrictions with geography location. The internet reaches across the world and spans all time zones. It reduces basically the time and money spent. It also helps to reduce the operation cost and also expedite customer services. It shows how to improve and keep your business more relevant. So more product and service selection from both the business and customer point of view. high productivity. That is very, very important. We can enhance the efficiency as well as the effectiveness of the business operations management. Improve accessibility and convenience is one of the key benefit of the e-business for all key stakeholders. And of course, better availability of information from big data analytics, because big data analytics, where we can see data visualization and we can find the right information at the right time, at the time when it is really required for an appropriate or quick decision. A shorter lead time is another key feature or benefit, and improved communication from end to end for supply chain and customer services, and stronger competitive position for any business they want to be leading today. They have to come up with the e-business presence to give 24/7 access to people worldwide, and this is no restrictions with their geographical location or if they have to target any particular demography of the market. So the sales and purchasing as well as the delivery online services, they all are some of the key features or benefit of the e-business. However, when we are looking to the help to get from e-business, how are we going to be getting the best out of it? We know that e-business is an umbrella term which covers the all important activities or functionalities or the department-wise management support. So throughout history, we know innovation and the adoption of new technology have led to productivity improvement. We know technology or evolving technology or emergence of technology bringing continuous improvement in the business operations that generate stronger economic growth and higher living standard at the same time. So in these days, more and more people are getting online, and for example, when people have their own convenience, they do browsing to look for different choices of their like or dislike from the comfort of their own comfort zone. So they can be in, let's say, late hours at home, using e-platform, eliminating the limitation of open hours, as it can remains open 24/7, and letting the shoppers shop at their own convenience. So we know e-business can benefit all type of businesses. It is not limited to technology, related to product and services across the board, across all businesses, wide range. So e-business can be applied to any part of companies' operations, including marketing and sale, purchasing, procurement, training, production, human resource, design and engineering, or design of the process, business process redesigning, etc. So this is quite important help that we can get from e-business, the presence or the feature that we have. So there's different, we need to look into the categories. What are the key categories we can use in e-business? For example, the key applications, e-business key application are the web-based application that can be implemented to perform tasks for businesses. So we know that how to do calibration, provide best customer services, how we can tailor and customize if it is a business-to-business relationship or business-to-customer relationship, and then streamlining the activities management and providing cutting-edge, the outstanding feature for any business to stand out from the crowd. So common e-business application provides some ways for companies to interact with consumers or customers or other end users on the web, or to perform tasks that's related meeting customers' need, such as the online tracking and postal shipments, for example. So we know that any business, they provide the complete suite of their end-to-end services. So e-business has become quite a fact for almost all organizations. But what are the key technologies for economically successful e-commerce? For example, take the example of Oracle, how they can provide a one window solution for all businesses including their, for example, finance, inventory, just like the ERP we have discussed earlier from the SAP, how they can provide the best solution to businesses and how it can include key concept that will coin the future of the e-business. So the virtual, for example, sales assistants, for example, we look for the marketing web pages, electronic marketplaces, vendor management, inventory, virtual organization, supply chain management. So both the technical and the economic issues of these concepts are quite important that the business, like for example Oracle, they have to take in consideration. So the e-business application, for example, financial management by Cisco. So this is where we think that how we take different example from e-business platform, which is determination of the conducting any business using internet, extranet, web or cloud-based internet. So this could include buying and selling of goods or services using commercial transaction conducted electronically along with providing customers or technical support with the help of the internet. So we looking to see how Cisco is using, and then look the Nike production design, and that is the key application for their e-business. So you see garden.com, that's the drop ship they are using, and Boeing, for example, the flight manual, maintenance document, spare parts to order. So that is quite important operational activities to be performed. So the JetBlue Air, for example, customer services and ticketing, this is all online. So how the online, for example, marketing, e-business as compared to e-commerce, it is not just the e-commerce feature, but more than that, it is more than just a simple act of buying and selling. So services are good online. In fact, e-business is the method of utilizing digital information and advanced communication technology to streamline different business processes altogether. Like for example, Dell computer, they give you customer, you order it, and then sales and after sales services. That's very important. One of the key feature to make Dell one of the favorite for many people to buy because of the after sales services. And Allied Signal, for example, the operation scheduling and supply chain, they become one of the lead because of their business application, keeping them leading in the competition. So look at the Starbucks. They have used smart card as well as the web access. So all these businesses here, from Cisco to Nike, Boeing to JetBlue Airline to Dell to Starbucks, everyone are trying to use the key important application within e-business. So it's not just the e-commerce, but also providing number of other customer services as well as marketing, finance. So this all together a complete solution to business, but in digital platform. So the for example, we take the automobile as a manufacturing, how they get the best out of the e-business. Let's say they have a sale, the customer service, supplier management, the marketing, product design, financing, and employees training. So there's quite a range of important components that they have to manage online or digitally or through e-business application. So the global electronic commerce revolution is already entered in a new phase, while the first stage where they fueled by the vision and innovation of the business to commerce online internet companies, their next phase they defined how the market success of the different components or the company's different activities engaged from not just business to customer but business to business. The main important advantage in the area, for example, you have the expectations just as consumer expecting about vehicles or automobiles. They are evolving and driving disruptive industry is changing. So are their expectations, because people have there's a lot of competition in the market. So automobile consumers or customer, their expectations or their consumer behavior is abruptly changing about their relationship with the vehicle or automobile suppliers. So automobile industry have identified that their cars online research tells that the consumer will increasingly want buy cars online, what kind of a feature they are looking for, and again how they can better look after for customer services, not just the sale but sale and services together, and again the supply management as well as promotion and marketing, and if there is a need for financing the car and employee training to look after better their customer, as well as the information they gather and work with the design team for better model to meet the expectations of their customer. That's quite range of the smart gadgets we can use to get the best out of e-business application, especially looking in the context of automobile. So for example, Michael Porter, what he already stated about the internet influence on the industry structure is very interesting to read in the article. He was telling or giving the discussing the 5 forces regarding the market, the threat in the market, about the new entrant, or the having the competitive strategy in the market. So the bargaining power of the supplier is one of the key element of the Michael Porter's 5 forces framework. Bargaining power of the buyer, and then rivals, the different rivalry among existing competitor, the barriers to enter in the market or new market, and threat of the substitute product or services. So this is basically the framework designed by Michael Porter, and that basically shows how the 5 forces are keep forcing the organization or any business to be competitive, to lead in the market. So launching e-business initiative, we are trying to understand from the Michael Porter 5 forces that business analysis model can help to explain why various industries are able to sustain a different level of profitability or productivity. The model was basically established in late in the 1980s time, but Michael Porter was giving the detail what is published for the competitive strategy technique for analyzing the industry and future for competition, and that can be applied in the e-commerce initiative, for example. So launching e-business initiative are typically internal campaign to seek or to improve an organization working environment. So we know that how different e-business tools and techniques can be applied both from the organization point of view as well as on the front for customer services, including their electronic brochures, catalogs, sale and services, auctions, payment, for example, communication tools. That is important to define what an e-business initiative basically mean for any organization they want to consider to join the e-business platform. So they need to have the right infrastructure in place along with the staff training with the right skills and capabilities before they go online sale or they open their online shop. They ask key questions from themselves to develop a right strategy to be successful, and communication plan is important. So they have the plan to execute communication within their employees extensively as well as with other stakeholders. So they need to prepare for mistakes and develop effective recovery system. Nothing gonna be perfect ever. There's always room for improvement. So that is important, that how the initiative can be taken for lesson learned for future to do better than before. So when we look from e-business and we come to e-commerce, we know e-commerce is nothing but buying and selling of goods around the web or the internet. So e-commerce is actively of the electronically buying or selling of product, online services or over the internet that we can carry on. Any transactions completed over computer mediated network that also involves the transfer ownership or the right to use goods or services is electronic commerce. That means electronic commerce is the buying or selling of goods and services over the internet. E-commerce can also be a substitute for brick and mortar stores. So Though some businesses choose to maintain both, although they are doing both, they have their brick and mortar, their physical presence, but they also want to be online. It is not just the case like Amazon, but like, for example, John Lewis or, for example, Next. They are now doing both their physical presence and online commerce. So almost anything can be purchased through e-commerce today, from garments to any daily product or services we are using in our daily life or in the business life. So there are different types of e-commerce. So we know that it can be business to business or business to customer, or customer to customer is also one of the type of e-commerce. It's basically trading, commerce, buying or selling through internet. We know eBay is one of the key platform. Now even people use Facebook. There are a number of other local portals. People are advertising from customer to customer. There are transactions or e-commerce features from business to business for various procurement or supply chain, and then calibrate commerce is another key type of the e-commerce. However, government also provide these services to their citizen, and then mobile commerce is another key feature of the e-commerce. Some of the key examples, for example, retailing and marketing. This is one of the example that we know. The retailers, they can do retailing and marketing through e-commerce. Entertainment and travel organization, education and learning. There are a number of consultant training providers. They use e-commerce platform. Banking and investment is one of the key example, as well as healthcare, auction, and personal and business services. So that's quite range of examples we can see that covers by e-commerce through online platform. However, to see the Michael Porter again application on the internet in value chain, this is again interesting to see and have the looking after the different example from retail to digital product to warehouses, the crowdfunding, for example. We know the value chain. This is the Harvard Business Review article. It's already provided on the Week7 workshop. You can look into the article and we will have a discussion. Improving the operational effectiveness versus improving strategic positioning is one of the key feature, because internet is an extremely important new technology in the business world today, and it is no surprise that it has received so much attention from entrepreneurs, executives, investors, and different business observers and customers. However, when we are looking to the effect on stage in the value chain for the strategy importance, aligned to the article published by Michael Porter about strategy in the internet in the Harvard Business Review, you will see that the inbound logistics, operations, outbound logistics, just end to end, the supply chain management, marketing and sales, and again after sale services are some of the important applications that have to be taken in consideration for the e-business or e-commerce or internet-based commerce for value chain, if any organization want to remain competitive in this era of technology. So what is the basics of e-commerce strategy? Again, please look to this article, which is uploaded from Philip Evans and Thomas. It's again Harvard Business Review from 1999. So as you think about the digital transformation, at the same time we think about e-commerce for our businesses. We know how to recognize there are the key important drivers for the customer, for example, infrastructure, the skills, the capabilities. So reach, access, and connection with customers is more important feature that's quite the basic fundamental for e-commerce strategy. You cannot do e-commerce in a country or in a region where there is no IT infrastructure, there is no connectivity, electricity or Wi-Fi, for example. So richness, depth and detail of information to and from customer is again important fundamental element in e-commerce strategy. And then of course affiliation, advancing customers interest is important step, and this is how we have to reach to the to get the best out of the e-commerce strategy by step to reach the social media, getting involvement with the e-commerce, third-party logistics, the explosion in the mobile internet penetration, for example. There are some emerging drivers of the e-commerce growth, and they are still growing every year. And there's increased range of payment for underbanked shoppers, increased political willingness and promotion of online trade, and growth of obviously the big data analytics is one of the key feature. So please read this article. You will find more insight, the fundamental basics of e-commerce strategy. So the key business drivers for, let's say, e-commerce, we can see the infrastructure itself is important, emerging technologies, and then again the all important pastel analysis, growth, and helpful support from the data analytics or big data analysis is very, very important. We know the feature that we can get the best out of technology include the key drivers has in the e-commerce is the internet itself, its presence, information, collaboration, agility, speed, and services are some of the key important features to make any organization more competitive. So when we look to the competitive advantage of e-commerce, how it stand the organization or company out from the crowd in this time when if you don't have the electronic presence, so you simply have to shut down in the lockdown time because you have no business activity, because you cannot sell or trade through internet or website. Any organizations, they were already doing it. They were successfully growing through lockdown and COVID challenging time. That was blessing in disguise for this organization. For example, Amazon is one of the particular example how they are thriving and growing when many other businesses were shutting down, or they were not able to continue their operations because of lockdown. So competitive advantage for e-commerce is offering personalized product services. That is very, very important to enable customer self-service online for their own choices, like and dislike, and also reducing the lead time as we discussed earlier, reducing overall cost for seller and customer, as well as improves the utilization of resources throughout the supply chain while increasing customer satisfaction and loyalty and expanding the global market presence. So these are some of the important competitive advantages that can be achieved as a goal of a business strategy. It means that a company or any organization either provide a better solution to a specific problem than their competitors, or they offer a similar kind of solution for a lower price, or maybe it is a market concept or marketing approach. So a business unit is said to have achieved competitive advantage when it sustains profit that exceed the average of its within the industry for getting the market, taking the market share through some of the important steps they have to consider in their operational activities. So tasks they perform by different customer, they look into the catalogs, they browse the catalogs. Some customers are interested to look to different product or services for electronic presence. They configure and place orders, and they look for the different prices through comparison website, look up the lead time and order status, again accessing invoice information, customer service information or customer care. So these are some of the activities they usually performed by customer. Running any e-commerce website is not always easy for any business. There are skills to make, order to fill, and payments to receive. This is why it is essential to make sure we have the all necessary basics or bases that can cover when it comes to running a well-rounded e-commerce website, particularly for sales and buying and selling. I'm assuming all e-commerce managers want to automate their daily repetitive tasks in order to improve their productivity, and they earn some time to focus on more growth and business development. But it is very important that they have important elements. When customers do self-service, they have easy access and they can do in their own time. So the business, when we're looking for the business to consumer or customer, we need to see what e-commerce implement a key strategy it can put in place. It's important that the customers are educated. So the businesses, from business to customer, when do e-commerce trade, buying, selling, they have to be educating the customer, make the shopping a fun. So many people, they find it interesting with maybe all the product presence graphically, or maybe some audio video clips if it is needed, or all the important information to be provided, so people have the choice and they can make the decision based on the information. So personalize the sales pitch is important to attract the particular segment of the market. Low price from business to customer e-commerce relationship. Painless returns if people really want to, for some reason, not happy with the product. So there is a policy for return or refund. So they serve the customers very well. Is basically that is the peak of professionalism for businesses to look after the customers, and they're happy. So they don't just want to attract customer, but businesses also want to keep them loyal, keep them customer to retain. The cross-sell and upsell is another important feature within the strategy to reach step by step for the success of any business. However, when you are looking the ways to improve e-commerce operation, this is again very important, how we can improve. Underpinning all e-commerce businesses is a set of smooth running, well thought through operation that help achieve your business goals. So technology, both hardware and software and infrastructure, business process re-engineering, very, very important, because the processes need to be updated to be more efficient and effective. Agile production for, let's say, mass customization to reduce the price and give the best choices to customer with a range of options. And of course, just-in-time system is another important feature, and supply chain management end-to-end with enhanced improvement. Business intelligence can be another key feature, because this operation include a standard team that you would expect in all businesses, like sales team, marketing team, and customer services team, as well as digital online requirement like an IT and web development support team, to have the training and intelligence. So the infrastructure has to work like human expert, and they have the intelligence to look after customer very, very well and look after them. It is just like you provide tailored services or customized services to individual customer. And customer relationship management is basically providing solution to businesses for customer to make the long-term relationship with different segment of the market. Remind customer they have more product, they may enjoy product digital aspect to your e-commerce customer side that encourage sales. Again, it is important that the technology help to, or e-commerce feature rush consumer into buying through offers and mid-time scale discount. So there can be different other important features that can help to set up smooth running, well thought through operation that help achieve the business goal through e-commerce. So the difference between e-commerce and e-business, we already talk about this. We know buying, selling is simple, is the e-commerce key feature, but e-business is an umbrella term which covers so many other things within the business activity along with e-commerce. So when we are looking for e-commerce, we know that sales and selling and buying or doing trade and commerce, but e-commerce is just one of the component within the huge domain or the broader context of the e-business, which is the overall business activity, the infrastructure, the hardware, software, human resources, management, marketing, finance, and banking. So they all are important to improve the services and reduce cost, open new channel, and transform competitive landscape for the business strategic competitiveness or strategic objective. So this is some of the fundamental or key differences between e-business and e-commerce. So we know that e-business is a broader aspect, and it is the application that strive to give good idea of the organization, and that is involving e-commerce as is one of the key feature for transaction. But e-commerce on the other end refer to any online transaction, and this is the subset of e-business, and e-commerce focus on the appearance much more than e-business. It is focuses more on buying and selling appearance or trade and commerce rather than the overall other business management and running the business overall functionality, which can be covered by e-business. So there are some limitations when you are doing e-commerce. We know there can be number of issues. We have to be careful. So any business they are doing, technological limitation is one of the elements that e-commerce can face. So lack of the universally accepted standard for quality, security, and reliability is one of the limitation for the technological aspect. Insufficient telecommunication bandwidth. As I said earlier, the region worldwide, if there's a problem with infrastructure, the bandwidth, still evolving software development tool, difficulties in integration, for example, web server specialty, and expensive or inconvenient internet accessibility can be the few of the limitations for e-commerce. Other e-commerce non-technological limitation includes the legal aspect, for example, data protections, national international government regulations and legislations, for example, and then again looking for the environmental friendly approach and a perception of the e-commerce in different part of the world is considered as expensive or sometimes is not secure. So that can be some of the limitations for the e-commerce if you want to continue. So we have to take on board the consideration to eliminate or reduce these limitations are very important for the strategic competitiveness or the strategic operational goal of the organization. So this is the end of the session. Please read the article. It's very important that you talk about the e-commerce and e-business, which is, it is now growing with a very faster pace. But you read the article is provided in the Week 7 discussion forum and share your thoughts and ideas. Read a chapter from your core or the recommended books. Take good care. Bye-bye.